Hello, welcome back. So today we are moving on with PHP and database. So we're going to see how does PHP interact with database, and after having a look at PHP object-oriented programming, so we are now moving with PHP with database, and after that we're going to see PHP or RESTful API. I mean, how to create that RESTful API with PHP. So right here I'm going to create a file, just a specific file for database PHP. So I'm going to write PHP underscore with database.php like that. So PHP has a really nice integration with MySQL database. I mean, those kind of relational database, that has a really nice integration with it. So what are we going to see here? But before that, let me just write this PHP here, and right here I'm going to create just a simple text file. So I'm going to say guide.txt like that, and the first thing we're going to see is operation with database. How does PHP operate with database? I mean, we're going to see how to load data from databases. Second is how to insert data to databases, yeah. And then third is how to update data in DB like that. And 4, we're going to see what else, how to delete, how to delete data from database. That will be the 4th one. What else? So we're going to see, I think this is pretty much it. In general we call it CRUD application. CRUD. It's like create, update, read, insert, and delete. So if you understand these four operation of database, you will be at a very nice place to interact with databases in PHP. So without wasting time, now let's dive right into concept itself. So one thing we need to understand before doing all of this kind of operation right here. So before just moving real quick, I'm gonna zoom this so you can see it clearly. Perfect. I think this one is much better. Okay, so as I said before understanding this 4 operation right here, we have to understand first how to connect to database, and after gaining that connection, now how to execute SQL queries so we can operate database. So the first thing is to create connection to database. So in PHP, a really basic way of creating connection is by using a built-in function called MYSQL connect. As you can see in this tooltip, is taking about 4 parameters, and it says the first parameter is host name. So host name, if you are developing this locally, it will be localhost. And the second parameter is the user. So by default, if you didn't change the username once you're installing XAMPP, it will be root. The third one is password. As you can see, it's highlighted right here, password. If you didn't change it, it will be just an empty string like that. And the next one is database name. So say, just give it a name right here, PHP tutorial, like that. And then this function returns something. So let's store it here into a variable named as con. Now let's just execute this and see what is going to happen. I'm gonna move to my browser like this and try to change it if it's going to be much better. think let's just expand this, it will be nice. Okay, like that. Okay, so I think my file was php with database.php. So let's give it a try. It says warning, unknown database. This message is pretty much obvious. I mean, it's self-explanatory message. You can see here it's explaining itself. We put the name of database, and we actually don't have this database name in our php_myadmin. So what to do is move into php_myadmin like this, and let's just wait a second. It's going to open, and then come right here and create a database name. Remember, we say our database name should be like PHP tutorial, like that. So let's put just right here and create. Okay, now we have database. Now let's give it a try by just refreshing it, and the warning is gone. Now let's just say I want to try something. I never did this one before. Let's just give it a try. I want to see what is going to happen here. Let's give it a try like that. Oh, it says object class MySQL couldn't be converted into string. Okay, so if it is a string, I should do like print r, I think, be formatted. Let's give it a try. What is going to happen? Because it's saying a string. Okay, so we have this really amazing output. I have never tried this before, but let's see what does it says. It says affected rows equals to 0, and it has also this kind of information, client information, which type of PHP we are using, I think, error, connection, like that, 0, everything, array field count is 0 and 0. So it's kind of look like a PHP associative array. So it has some bunch of information, right? And I think we are going to see it as we are moving. So now let's just comment this one. Now let's give it a try and say if connection, if con, and just say echo, let's say echo connected successful, like that. Else, if there is a problem in connection, let's just say echo MySQL. So we are catching errors now. Connect, like that. Oh, I'm getting error here. Oh, I have to remove this. Okay, what is wrong? MySQL echo MySQL error false, found false or null. What does it mean? MySQL, I've never seen this before. MySQL underscore, it returns a string description of the last error, of course. So what's wrong here? Okay, let me just give it a try. What are we going to see here? Oh, connected successfully. That is perfect. So it's just because of this extension I have here, and it says MySQL found false or null. So it's returning a string of the last error. As you can see in the tooltip description right here, it returns a string description of the last error. So we are good to go. This is not actually an error. So we are connected successfully to our database. So after connection, right here we have that connection. So if we have a connection, what next? So let's go back to our guideline here. Let's first start with inserting database. I think this will be much better. How can we actually insert data into database? Okay, so to insert data in database, we must first have table in our database. So now let's just say test table. Here we are creating table here, test table. Let's say this table have only 2 inputs, like that, and click go like that. And now we have to name columns. So let's just say name and email, like that. And I have to change data type of this to be character and variable character, like that. And I'm assigned to be 100 characters, 200 characters. That is perfect just for testing. So we have these 2 columns in our database, in a test table database right here. We have name and email. Okay, that is perfect. There are 2 ways of inserting data in database. The first way is by just clicking this one, insert, and just write whatever you like here, and just click go. And if you go back to your database, like this, browse here, you'll see the data you inserted is right here. But this is not actually a real world application works. This is while you're developing, you can say maybe like that. But if you have a login or you have a registration form and you want to get data from users, how can you do that? So we have to implement this logic of inserting data into database in PHP. So how are we going to do that? So the first thing is, before that, I want to take a nice clean look here at this one. Well, let's try to insert this again and just press go. Look very close to this SQL query, because it's what we're going to use right now. So just have a look at this one, and I think before just taking this, because you should have understanding of databases. Okay, so now let's go back and remove this message. So first of all, we have to have that SQL query. We should have that SQL query right here, and it should be in a string like that. So let's copy this and just paste in that as a value to the SQL variable here. Just paste it here. Okay, now we just copy that and paste it right here. And now let's change these values to something like my name is Ombeni, and just put my name there, and my email is benitango42@gmail.com. I'm sorry, .com, like that. Okay, I have this SQL query, and what next to do here is to use another built-in function to really execute this query, and this function is called MYSQL query, and it's taking only 2 parameters. As you can see here, it is taking connection that we have at the very top, and it's taking also a query, SQL query, to be executed. So we have to put that SQL, and the third parameter is optional and is actually a result mode. And let's just say res, like that. I don't really use this one. The most commonly used is only connection and this one, though we have this 30 parameter and it's optional. Okay, now let's just store it here, and let's say if this query just get executed well, so we say echo, so I have to type it correctly, echo inserted db, like that, and just say else we should get an error and say not inserted, and we have to capture that error by just using MySQL error and pass that connection there. So this is going to return the last error happens in the query we have. And if it is inserted, I just want to see the result of this res here. What does it contain, by the way? I never tried this before. So now let's just give it a try and just refresh here. Oh, it says undefined variable res inserted into db. So we really have inserted data into database, but this one seems to be not working. I don't know what is. Let's just remove this and remove this. I never tried this before, just to be honest. Okay, now let's just refresh again. Before refreshing, let's go to our database and see, did we have that database, that data in our database? Oh yeah, we have that. We have Ombeni here, and we have my email address. So what we did here is to write an SQL query for inserting data into database, and we pass the column names just like this. So we have to put the table name and then the names of column, the values that you want to be in the specific column, and the name should be this here, and email should be what you passed right here. So I think you're getting my point. Okay, if I just try to refresh this again, we should have multiple rows with the same value. That is correct, that is good. So we have just finished to insert data into database, as you see. So that's how to insert data into database in PHP. It's a very basic way of inserting data. Don't worry, we are going to move just slow, steadily, and a very advanced way of inserting data and manipulating data with PHP. Okay, that's the first one. So now the second is, how are we going to load those data back? So we inserted data, and now we have to get that data back from database and maybe show to our clients. How can we do that? Okay, so it's really easy. Just go back to your PHP admin right here, and as you can see, we have this SQL query. It says select star from table name. And what does this mean is that it's selecting every column in this table. So we don't really care which types of column we want now here. We just want to load all kind of data. We just want to load data in this table. So I have to copy this, or you can just type it manually if you like. So I'm going to copy that and just comment this, and right below here I'm going to create another SQL variable and just assign a value like that. Okay, now the SQL value has been changed to select data from database. Okay, now we have to change this and say loaded successfully. Just say loaded, simple and easy like that, loaded. And if we have error, let's say there is an error. Okay, now let's just give it a try. What are we going to see? It says loaded, but we really want to get these values. So how are we going to do that? So our queries get executed, but we don't have those data. So we're going to use a function, built-in function also in PHP, which is called MYSQL fetch. And there are, I think, two ways of doing this. Most common ways is to fetch by array like that, and what you need to pass here is the result value, and this one is coming from this one. You have to store a res here. I mean, after this function gets executed, it returns some kind of result, so we have to fetch it by using this function MySQL fetch array. And right here we have those values, and just say we have data, store it in this variable like that. And to actually see this, let's just say print data. Okay, that is good. Let's give it a try. We have it, right? We have only one column. It says array, and at number 0 it says name, which is equal, 0 is equal to this value, and name, that's the column name. We have kind of look like ugly way of loading that, but we have only one row, and we actually have 4 rows here. So to get all values or to get all data, we have to use while loop. We have have to loop to iterate over all rows in a table. So we have to say while and just paste in here, and then open and closing curly bracket like that, and just put here. So let's give it a try one more time. Let's see. Alright, we have all data now. Now let's just try to reformat this one and just say echo pre like that. This is a way of formatting. Let's put semicolon here and put it just below also and say echo like that. So we have to format colon. Looks like it looks much better. Okay, let me see here. So we have array with about 4 items. Of course, we have this item 1, item 2, 3, and 4, and all these items are just rows from database. If you look very clear, look very close, and we have position and the name. So this is because we are using MySQL fetch array. There is another alternative of using a source. You just have to change that, and this is going to remove all these numbers 0 and 1, 0 and 1. We're going to have only the keys, which are the names of columns. So give it a try. Oh, we have that. So we only have column names, and that's much better. Okay, now let's try. Let's say we have to print only this first item. So remember, arrays in PHP, so we have to put just 0 right here. That means at the very first index, and let's give it a try. Oh, it says offset 0. Let's remove that, and we don't really have that. Let's change back and reverse it back and have a look again one more time. Okay, that is good. And this is the problem. I was thinking it was array, but actually we changed it to associative array. So we don't use positions, we use keys now. See, let's give it a try, and we have those, and I don't really think, oh, that's not a problem, that's not a problem, sorry. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, so let's say we have to get this. Let's say that, and let's say name. I'm going to see something nice maybe. Oh yeah, that is good. We're going to fetch all names, of course, all names, and let's just say email. Let's try to get all emails in our database, and yeah, we have that. So that is much better. If you use array here, we have to change this to numbers, like go and get all values in position number 0 like that. So let's give it a try. Yep, and email is only at position number 1. Okay, so yeah, so that is much better. So now we are getting data from database. We are fetching data from database, as you can see here. Okay, that is good. That is much better. And let's move on to another concept. So we see how to insert, and we now see how to fetch data. Now let's move to update data. We want to update some data in our database. Okay, I'm just going to comment this and add another SQL and say this is an SQL query to update data from database, and say update. What are we updating? Sorry, I have to put that test table, and have to say set. We have to set name, that means the column name. We're setting some kind of value, and let's say we just want to change it without condition. And now I want to set all let's see what we have in names. I want to set this to remove all data here, and this only this name column. Okay, so now we're going to execute it by using the same procedure, and now we don't really want to Okay, that's fine. Let's just remove, just put this one as it was. Let's left it as there. Now let's give it a try. Oh, it says an error. We have MySQL of fetch array. There is a problem there. So let's have a look at our database. What happens? Let's just refresh. Of course, we have nothing here. Did you see that? Amazing. Okay. So we updated our database at column name, and we're trying to fetch everything again just after updating. Try to fetch everything there, and we get an error. Okay, now let's assign back to like what? Let's put embedded. Just want to use that embedded tangle, and now let's give it a try. Let's have a look at our database. We change all of these to embedded. Okay, let's just comment this. So this is how to update data. All you need is this: set where name is equal to that. Let's set email, change email now. Let's change email to something like aa@gmail.com. Let's refresh. Let's take a look here. We have AA like that. Okay, now what if you want to change a specific column? I mean a specific value right here. Say, let's change this one to rename it. Oh, I can even edit it right here. Okay, so what am I going to do? I will just to erase everything here. Let's just go here and let's move to our database here. I want to delete everything there and just empty. Okay, now we have empty table here. Now let's give it a try by just inserting again a data. Comment this one and put it there. And now let's refresh. Let's have a look. Okay, that is nice. Let's insert another, and let's say something like 2. Change this one to Asha, and change everything here also to Asha. Maybe that's much better. Asha Gmail. Okay, now let's refresh again. Have a look. Okay, that is much better. Now let's comment this and uncomment this. So we want to change email to be this way, where to add a condition here now. Oh, sorry. Where, and say where email, where email is equal to, sorry, email is equal to Asha. Let's change only this one. When we're changing Asha to AA like that. And now let's execute this query. Okay, of course we have that AA. So that's how to update data. Update it and get result back. Now let's see how to update data and get result back after updating that. Okay, let's take this one by just commenting it and then comment back this and say add changes variable to select, and let's comment also this one and change this variable to insert, SQL insert like that. So we have this variable selecting data. Now we want to select data. How we're going to do that is by just after updating that, I should have also another result for select, just like that, and say MySQL query and pass connection, and like that. Oh, you have to delete this. So this one is going to update and this is going to select. So after just selecting, you want to print them back. So here put that. Okay, so now let's give it a try. We're just refreshing. Yes, we have aa@gmail.com. Now let's change this Ombeni also to AA. What we have to do is change the condition, like here. We have to change condition now, email to be like that, and we are expecting Ombeni to be aa@gmail.com. Let's put something like bb, like that, and now let's refresh. Oh yeah, we have that. So that's how to update and get data again. So the same procedure, you can insert and fetch data at the same time. All you have to do is follow these steps. So the remaining part is to delete data. Okay, now we want to delete something. Let's start by just saying add this one SQL. Just put it here again, SQL, and delete. And let's put that SQL query here, and it is just to delete. Let's say delete all from just table name, only that test table, and this is going to erase everything. It's going to delete everything in our database. So what we need to here is to just execute that. And how are we going to execute it? Let's now comment this part, and just below this let's put MySQL query pass connection and SQL delete space, like that, and boom. So now let's try, and let's have a look at our database. Oh, we still have all of this, so we didn't delete anything. Is it delete from database? I think it's like that, delete from database. Let's have a look. Oh, so I have to recheck that. Let's give it a try right here. Edit here and say delete from data. Yes, let's go. It says I have an error in SQL. Okay, delete from there. Okay, so this is working fine. I'm taking this, delete all from, it's not delete. I think I was correct. What's wrong here? Delete, let's put it here, delete, and MySQL query, passing this and SQL like that. I'm executing it, so I think it should work now. Let's give it a try. So let's have a look. Yes, of course we have that. Okay, so that's how to delete data. So we see how to insert data and select, and update and delete. So now at the next coming tutorial, we're going to move in a little bit advanced way of operating with database. So thank you. See you in the next coming tutorial.